Alright, here I have the IERC sliders that are also hard body compatible. You'll notice these notches here. These are Hey guys, welcome back to Revolution XRC. Today we're going to look at my first flat rail chassis build. Now, I've been intrigued by all the flat rail chassis out there for a while now. I have actually got several chassis and I just have not built them yet. I haven't felt the need to really go for a full-on flat rail chassis build. I think C channels work for me, but I do want to build some flat rail chassis just so I can have them under my belt. Now this chassis in particular kind of interested me. This is the IERC Class 1 Merge. So basically it's a Class 1 chassis. You can see here it's got detached shock towers, which makes it a Class 1 chassis. Yeah, basically it's very close to an SCX 10.2 style chassis. I've heard good things about it, and I actually also make some things for it. But this is definitely going to be my first flat rail build. One of the reasons I chose this is because I like the hard body capability that can be mounted onto these Class 1 chassis. So it gives it that more scale look, and it's not just kind of like a flat rail with like a slab of Lexan on top. The one thing I can't stand about a lot of flat rail builds out there, the Lexan bodies on there no longer look like truck bodies. It looks like just a, I don't know, like a chopped, really extremely chopped piece of Lexan. And so whatever flat rail I build, I'm still going to try to keep it more scale looking and have like a full-on body, either a hard body or a Lexan body that's not chopped to the extreme. And that's kind of what I like. I like my trucks to look realistic, or more realistic, and not so much like extreme performance. And I get it, some people like that extreme performance. But for me personally, I like my rigs to look like trucks. Anyway, moving along, today we're going to be adding sliders, some hard body mounts, as well as the transmission. And I'll put a link to this chassis in the description below. Now this chassis comes with the chassis itself, and this one's pre-assembled, so you don't have to do any assembly. It's always good to check a little bit of it if you want, but it also comes with a sticker sheet. Pretty cool. And these are the grub screws you need for the links in the skid. Alright, here I have the IERC sliders that are also hard body compatible. You'll notice these notches here. These are specifically made so that you can install a hard body like the RC 4-wheel drive Mojave. And to do that, you would need these printed pieces right here. These are the hard body mounts, and basically they were attached to the sliders, and you would mount the body to the 3D printed pieces. And it's very, very secure. I've tested it out. It works great. So let's start off and add the sliders to the chassis first, and then the hard body mounts. Having a little trouble because I have a camera in front of my face, which limits my ability to kind of do this sometimes. Alright, now we can put on the hard body mounts. Pretty easy to put on. I believe the screws I have here are M3 by 10 cap head screws. The screws aren't supplied with the hard body mounts. You have to supply them themselves. You have to supply them yourself. This one in particular, these are kind of defects that I printed. The ones that did make the cut are shipped off to IERC. These were the ones that didn't make the cut, but they are structurally sound and they'll work. So if you notice any cosmetic defects, that's because these are ones that didn't make the cut, but they're not going to stop me from doing what I need, which is mount a hard body. Still work great. So. And of course, with 3D printed parts, you don't want to over tighten them. You do not want to strip the holes out. Hand tight is good enough. It's pretty secure. So I suggest when you're putting screws into 3D printed material to use hand tools. Don't use power tools. Alright, pretty sturdy and solid. You can see here how the holes line up for your hard body. Let's go ahead and add the other one. Now these hard body mounts are not directional. You'll want the tops, or the one with the logo without the support hangs. You want the better printed side facing outward, and that's just for looks. It really doesn't matter, but you know, it's just for looks. These are reversible. You can use them on either side. Alright, so now we've got the sliders mounted and we've got the hard body mounts mounted as well. So this rig is basically ready for a RC 4-wheel drive Mojave body now. And we'll move along to the bumper mounts. So we've got two bumper mounts here, one for the rear and one for the front. Now these are optional. You may or may not use them, but they're nice pieces of support. For the rear of the chassis, basically it keeps the chassis at the perfect width without kind of being bent. So when you screw in a bumper, which I will get later on, you use these to kind of support squeezing that bumper onto the chassis so that the frame doesn't bend. Same thing with the front. If you have a front bumper, you use this to kind of support the chassis right here. And I'll put a link to these in the description below as well. Actually, I'll put a link to all of this IERC stuff in the description below, so that you'll have that if you decide to build one of these Merge Class 1s. I don't know if I want to put this on right now. I should have the IERC bumpers coming, but you know what? I can put them on right now. It won't matter. Let's go ahead and do that. So Once again, this hardware is not included. I provided my own hardware, so you do have to find your own hardware for some of this stuff. And the one I'm using in the rear here is either M3x10 or M3x12 cap head screws. So just use your own choice of hardware. In the front I have those flat, I forgot what these are called, but just big enough head just to hold the bumper in place. Alright, so here, these are the bumper braces. You'll notice on this piece there's a little fair lead in here in case you need it for your winch to feed the line through. Now I'm not going to screw this in all the way because, like I said, I do have a bumper coming and I just need to hold it in place for now. Alright, so if you have these bumper braces installed, they'll look like this. Of course, you'll probably have bumpers on the front and rear. Let's go ahead and move on to the transmission. Alright, for the transmission, I am using a Team Garage Hack TGH 2.0. So this is a 2.0 transmission. For the power, I'm running a Holmes Hobbies Revolver V2 2200 kV, and I also have a Crawlmaster Mini ESC to go with it because I can't stand the sound of a regular outrunner. So using the Crawlmaster Mini or any ESC with the AM32 software will have that quieted down and a little bit more bearable. But I do like the power and the smoothness of these motors, so it'll be my first rig using this setup, so definitely can't wait to try this out. Now, the IERC Merge Class 1 chassis skid comes with the regular axial AX10 3-gear transmission mounting pattern, so you could it comes out of the box for that 3-gear transmission mounting pattern. That includes the axial 3-gear, that includes the Element RC stealth transmission, but for this 2.0 specifically, it has a different mounting pattern. So IERC does sell a jig where you can drill your own holes into the skid, or you can go ahead and buy the Team Garage Hack 2-point low adapter for the three gear hole mounting pattern. And so you can see this little plate here, which is about 3 or 4 millimeters thick. You'll see that the 2 holes for the 2-point low are mounted onto this plate, and then you mount this plate onto the skid. So this makes it a little bit easier, but it does raise the transmission by a few millimeters. So if you care about that, you might not want to use one of these mounting plates. You might want to use a jig and drill your own holes instead. But if you're looking for the easy way out like I am, then you can just get one of these adapter plates. Now the caveat to using one of these adapter plates is you have to make sure that even with the adapter plate, if the transmission is going to mount where you want it to on the skid. So to mount the transmission to the skid, I'm going to be using, no, not these. I think these are M3x12 countersunk screws. Pretty sure they're M3x12. I'm missing one, fell on the floor, but there should be 4 of them. 4 M3x12 countersunk screws. And let's go ahead and mount this transmission to the chassis. Always a challenge doing this in front of a camera, because the camera's right in front of my face, doesn't really give me the correct angle to work on this stuff sometimes. But it's for you guys, so put up with it. Eventually I'll find a better place to put this camera. Hopefully I can get this build done before Proline. There's only 1 week left. And I still gotta get a bunch of my camping stuff ready. And if you guys were wondering, my Mojave body is under paint right now, or else I'd show you how it lines up with these hard body mount sliders. Anyway, you can see here the little adjustment needed here. Alright. Got some space now. Alright. Here's the transmission mounted to the chassis with the revolver. We've got the hard body mounts right here on the sliders and the bumper braces. And that's about as far as I'm going to go for this part of the series. In the next series we'll go over adding some other stuff, probably putting together the axles. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for future updates on my first flat rail build, which is the IERC Class 1 Merge. Thanks for watching.